Welcome to Medent Tutorials. In today's presentation, we shall be talking about a brief introduction of the cardiovascular system. So, at the end of the day, you should be able to know the functions of the cardiovascular system, blood and its component, the anatomy of the heart as a pump, and the different types of blood circulation in the body. So, stay tuned and let's dive into it. As a way of introduction, the cardiovascular system is simply a transport system which carries nutrients, oxygen, antibodies, hormones to the tissues and their metabolic waste products to excretory organs like the kidneys, lungs, liver, large intestines, and the skin. It consists of the heart and a closed vascular system through which blood circulates. All components of the cardiovascular system has three layers. Now, the functions of the cardiovascular system. It circulates oxygen and removes carbon dioxide. It provides cells with nutrients. It removes the waste product of metabolism to the excretory organs for disposal. It protects the body against disease and infection. It helps in the production of clotting factors, which stops bleeding after injury. It helps in the transport of hormones to target cells and organs. It also helps to regulate body temperature. Now, the blood. Blood is a specialized body fluid that delivers necessary substances such as nutrients and oxygen to the cells and transports metabolic waste products away from those same cells. Blood is made up of 45% cells or solids and then 55% plasma or fluids. The plasma is largely water, which contains proteins, nutrients, hormones, antibodies, and dissolved waste products. Now, let's talk about the blood cells. One of the blood cells includes erythrocytes, also known as red blood cells. These are small red disc shaped cells which contain hemoglobin and then combines with oxygen in the lungs and then transport it to body tissues. The hemoglobin also returns carbon dioxide, which are actually waste products, to the lungs. Erythrocytes are formed in the bone marrow. In the knobby cells of the bones called the epiphysis. The epiphysis. All right. Now, one of the other type of cells in the blood include leukocytes, also known as white blood cells. These cells help the body to fight bacteria and infection. They are formed in the small ends of bones. They can be classified as granular or agranular or non-granular. There are three types of granular leukocytes. Three types. These are the eosinophils, neutrophils, and basophils. There are also three types of agranular leukocytes or non-granular leukocytes. Three types. These are the monocytes, the T cell lymphocytes, and the B cell lymphocytes. All right. The other type of cells that are found in the blood is thrombocytes or platelets. These cells aid the formation of blood clots by releasing various protein substances. Now, when the body is injured, thrombocytes disintegrate and cause a chemical reaction with the proteins found in plasma, which eventually create a thread-like substance called the fibrin. The fibrin then, quote unquote, catches other blood cells which form the clot, preventing further loss of blood, and then forms the basis of wound healing. All right. Now, let's talk about the anatomy of the heart. Like we said earlier on, the cardiovascular system comprises of what? The heart and the vascular system. So now let's talk about the anatomy of the heart. Now, the heart is a four chambered muscular pump approximately the size of a man's fist that beats at an average of 70 times each minute, each day, 365 days each year for a lifetime. It is located between the lungs in the mediastinal space of the intrathoracic cavity. Now, the heart comprises of these parts. We can talk about the base, or we have the base, the apex, the anterior or the sternocostal surface. We have the diaphragmatic or the inferior surface. We have the left pulmonary surfaces and then the right pulmonary surface. We also have the sulci or the sulcus of the heart. So, sulci of the heart, we have or there are one transverse sulcus and then two longitudinal sulci. One transverse, two longitudinal. These are the anterior interventricular sulcus, the coronary sulcus, and the posterior interventricular sulcus. All right. Now, the heart as a pump. The heart as a pump. Now, the heart is a complex organ that pumps blood throughout the body. Like we said earlier on, it has four chambers. These are the right and the left atria, the right and the left ventricles. Now, the heart also has four valves. The heart has four valves. These are the tricuspid and the mitral valves. These are also called the input valves. And then we have the aortic and the pulmonic or the semilunar valves. These are called the output valves. Now, blood circulation. There are four main blood circulation. We have the pulmonary blood circulation, which is just the circulation between the right and the left heart. Right and the left heart. Then we have the systemic circulation, which is the circulation between the left and the right heart. We also have the portal circulation, which is just the circulation between veins. And lastly, but not the least, we have the coronary circulation, which is just the circulation of the heart. Now, briefly on systemic, or sorry, let's start with the pulmonary circulation. And this involves the movement of blood between the heart and the lungs. It transports deoxygenated blood to the lungs to absorb oxygen and release carbon dioxide. The oxygenated blood then flows back to the heart. The pathway involved in the movement of blood from the pulmonary arteries to the lungs and to the left atrium via the pulmonary veins. So that's the pathway. Pulmonary arteries to the lungs and then to the left atrium via the pulmonary vein. This type of circulation is also called the lesser or the lower pressure circulation. Lesser circulation or the lower pressure circulation. Now, the systemic circulation. This involves the movement of oxygenated blood from the heart to the entire body. Its pathway involves the movement of blood from the left ventricle to greater arteries to medium sized arteries to small sized arteries, then to the arterioles, and finally to the capillaries. Now, in the capillaries, that is where exchange of gases takes place. So, after exchange in the capillaries, blood enters the venules, then to small veins, then to veins, and then the vena cavas, and finally into the heart via the right atrium. Now, this type of circulation is also called a high pressure circulation. High pressure circulation. So quickly, let's look at the differences between the pulmonary circulation and the systemic circulation. Now, the pulmonary circulation involves or is between the right and the left heart. In systemic circulation, is between the left and the right heart. Pulmonary circulation involves the lungs. Systemic circulation involves the systems of the body. In pulmonary circulation, less organs are involved. In systemic circulation, more organs or systems are involved. Circulation in the pulmonary is under low pressure, whilst under systemic circulation, it is under high pressure. In pulmonary circulation, arteries, that is the pulmonary arteries, they carry deoxygenated blood. In systemic circulation, arteries carry oxygenated blood. In pulmonary circulation, veins carry oxygenated blood, whilst in systemic circulation, veins carry deoxygenated blood. So these are the differences between pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. Now let's talk about the portal circulation. Like I said earlier, this involves a vascular arrangement in which blood from the capillaries of one organ is transported to the capillaries of another organ by a connecting vein or veins. Now, this type of circulation can be seen in the hepatic, renal, and hypophyseal portal systems. The portal vein drains almost all of the blood from the digestive tract and empties directly into the liver. In the kidney, nephrons operate on the basis of portal circulation. Now, the coronary circulation. Coronary circulation involves the coronary arteries. It involves the coronary arteries. And then these arteries are blood vessels that supply oxygen rich blood to the heart muscles. The main coronary arteries are the left main coronary artery, which supplies the left side of the heart muscle. We have the left anterior descending artery, which supplies blood to the front of the left side of the heart. We also have the circumflex artery, which supplies blood to the outer side and back of the heart. And then we have the right coronary artery, which supplies blood to the right ventricle, the right atrium, and the sinoatrial and the AV node, or the atrioventricular node. These are the functions of these uh, arteries. Now, the right coronary artery divides into smaller branches, including the right posterior descending artery and the acute marginal artery. These supply blood to the middle or the septum of the heart. So, in summary, the cardiovascular system is a very important system in our body as it helps in the transport of nutrients, blood, antibodies, and many others to the tissues and their metabolic waste product away from the tissues to the excretory organs for them to be excreted. It comprises of the heart and the vascular system. The heart is made up of four chambers. That is the right and the left atria, the right and the left ventricles. It also has input valves and output valves. The input valves include the tricuspid valve, the bicuspid valve, whilst the output valves include the aortic valve and the pulmonary valve. Of course, there are other parts of the heart that you need to know. Now, the blood as a component of the cardiovascular system is made up of three basic cells. These are the erythrocytes or the red blood cells, the leukocytes or the white blood cells, and the thrombocytes, also known as the platelets. Inside the blood are plasma, which makes up about 55% of the total blood. There are also four main types of circulation you need to know. We have the pulmonary circulation, also known as the lesser circulation. We have the systemic circulation. We also have the coronary circulation, and we have the portal circulation. It is important to also know that all components of the cardiovascular system has three layers, which of course we are going to talk about it in details in our next presentation. So if you really enjoyed what you've just listened to, kindly follow us for more and follow us on our social media handles. And if you are seeing this video on YouTube, kindly subscribe and turn on the post notification for more of these. Thank you and stay blessed.